Hello.
Hey, hey. Ooh. Got iPhone 3 joining us today. Awesome. Yeah, Kristen.
Sorry, I didn't have my volume turned up. And if my dog starts to bark, I apologize. Every little noise. Okay.
Hey guys, those of you who are in the meeting, just want to let you know that this is being recorded. Hey, welcome, Emily. And is going to be shared on the HCS, what does that say, virtual PD document for access later. So if you miss anything later and you want to go back and check it out, you can go back and review that at your leisure. Got a couple minutes till we get officially started. I don't know about y'all, but this rainy weather, woo, makes me sleepy. I had to get my virtual Starbucks. Well, it's virtual for you guys. It's real life for me. I'm drinking it.
That's not a bad idea. I have some of that too.
Oh, your jug looks a sight larger than mine, Lori. Well, of course, with the text on it. I see how it is. Don't worry, I got Oklahoma on. Oh, it's messed up, reversed. Sporting my HCS Spirit Wear sports attire today.
Oh, that's right.
Well, guys, we've only got a couple minutes, but if you guys are all right with it, we'll go ahead and get started. At the very least with introductions. My name's Arthur Williams, and I'm an instructional coach, and I'm co-presenting today with Lori Young.
Yes, hello. I'm Lori Young. I'm the instructional coach. Not instructional coach, sorry, literacy coach, Hillcrest and Lakeside.
For those of you out there, just wanted to get a quick check-in and see what grade levels do you teach? Where are you stationed out of? Since we're going to be co-presenting, you're welcome to use the chat or your voice, and we can go back and forth. If one of us is speaking, the other one will be monitoring the chat. I saw second grade at Hardy. All right, that's good. Let's see. Kristen, kindergarten at Hardy, third at Hardy, fourth at Ridge, kindergarten at Lakeland. Who's that? Just giving Emily a hard time. We work with her too. All right, very cool. What's the name of the? Oops, says my internet connection is unstable. Hopefully, you can still hear me. What's your name at iPhone 3? It's showing. What's your actual name? I don't keep calling you iPhone. From Hardy, third grade at Hardy. Kate, okay, or Katie, sorry. Oh, my computer won't let me use Zoom. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I hadn't run into that. That is too bad. Hopefully it's not one of those quality Hamilton County laptops. Okay, we'll go ahead and get going into the official presentation. So Lori and I have intentionally left a lot of room and space for questions and for sharing. So if you do find yourself with a question, you can type it in the chat, you can unmute, you can do whatever you need to, and we will make sure to respond. So right now I'm just sharing my screen, but Lori, as I think about that, we probably should have you start off with the screen sharing because you've got most of the stuff. So are you okay to switch up to share your screen, Lori?
Okay. Yes, I'm gonna share my screen off the internet, and hopefully you can hear me kind of going in and out. On this Chromebook, I cannot see myself while I'm presenting. On my other computer, I can, but it's running really slow. So hopefully I won't make any faces when I can't see myself. If I am, just tell me to smile. All right. All right, my screen.
It says you started screen sharing. Yep, there it goes.
Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to start talking about this first slide, the interactive read alouds. I use Zoom, YouTube, Storyline Online, and Edpuzzle to create an interactive assessment for a read aloud. And so all of the links that you can see are right down here. This first one that I'm going to click on is where I created some links. Let me get rid of this box down here. I've already created by grade band some different IRAs that I did in Edpuzzle, where I created stopping points and questions. So I did one for K1, 2, 3, and 3, 4. You can see the IRA links there, the resources I used. Storyline Online, which I'm going to show you in just a minute, has lesson plans that you can download. Those are all linked there for those 3 books. And then down here at the bottom, we're also at Lakeside and Hillcrest, a pilot campus for CKLA in certain grades. And so I did do a read aloud for first grade using their knowledge strand, Unit 9 fairy tales. I did lesson 6. So I used Loom screencasting for that, and so I'll talk about that in this slide as well. Okay, to create a digital IRA, you can use a book that is already, the read aloud is already completed on Storyline Online is the website that I like to use. You can also record yourself in a video and upload that to YouTube. However you choose to do it is up to you. But I'm going to show you this method. So storylineonline.net, the link is in the presentation, but you just go to it. You will click on any of the titles you see. So we'll click on this one, The House That Jane Built. At the beginning, you can choose which type of viewing experience you would like. I usually pick YouTube because it just seems to be universal and easy for everybody. And once that opens, you'll see the box in the top right-hand corner that says Copy Link. If you click on that, it will copy the link for you. And then if you scroll down, I want to show you this is where you get the lesson plan. So if you click here on activity guides, some of them have parent letters and some of them just have the lesson plan. So if you click on the 4 teachers, it will give you a PDF version of the lesson plan that goes with this book. Okay, so then I'm going to go back out to Edpuzzle. Okay, now Edpuzzle is web-based. So this is just where I create any video, where you turn any video or story read aloud into a lesson, where you can put stopping points for questions and such, which I did in some of the examples. So here you would just log in. It will log in with Google, ask you all the questions. Real slow. still thinking. Okay, there it goes. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, so in here in Edpuzzle, you can see once you join, you can the class, or excuse me, the school that you work with. You can register for that at the beginning. I'm at Lakeside and Hillcrest, so I have an account here. Over here on the left, you'll see your content, and you can see YouTube. Now, to create a video, I would just go down to the YouTube link. Then, since I've already copied my link from Storyline Online, I'm just going to paste it in here. And then it's going to pop up my video. Now, I recommend that you watch this video outside of Edpuzzle before you start and kind of look at the lesson plan that Storyline provides. Also have a notepad ready for writing questions down as you listen to the story, questions that you would want your students to answer while they're listening to the read aloud, so that you already have those questions prepared ahead of time. And then how I like to edit the video is simply just by clicking on questions. You can click on the cut button, but the screen is kind of wampus in how it's all laid out. I prefer to do it in question mode. And then you just click play. And as you start to watch the video.
Welcome to Storyline Online, brought by the South.
You can click on question. It gives you multiple choice question, open-ended question, or note. And you can jump in anywhere and start typing your question. Now, if you're going to do multiple choice, make sure you select either the green check for the correct answer, or the red box, or the red square for the incorrect answers. And then you would just click save. You can put in as many question stops as you want. You just click on which one of these that you want. Usually I will put a note at the very beginning of the lesson, and you'll see this in the examples, for the students to turn on closed caption, because once they're actually in the finished video and they're watching it and answering the questions, if they turn on closed caption, then they can follow along with you, or with the person reading the book, I should say. So that's Storyline Online and using Edpuzzle. Now, with the other types of read alouds, with essentially the same way, you're going to record it yourself using this platform. It's called Loom, screencasting. It comes as a Chrome extension that lives right here. It's this little, I don't know what to call that shape, this little red shape right here. Looks like a loom, I guess, yarn string all put together. So if you click on that, then you can video record any screen that you're on. Just sign with Google and do all of the permissions, which seems to be running super slow today. Anyway, and you can go through that. I'm going to show you by going to a different website. So this is Amplify. So the teachers that are doing the non-pilot, this is how I recorded the read aloud in the knowledge strand for those teachers. You would just select the grade level bands. In here they have the visual image cards posted for the teachers. So I would go to grade level resources, first grade. And then since I was doing the knowledge strand, I was over here in fairy tales. And then I used the digital cards, the flip book. And then when I was screencasting, so then from here, I would use the extension, the Loom extension. So let me scroll to a card. So say I had my teacher guide and I was doing this read aloud and I wanted the students to see this picture. The CKLA teacher guides have read alouds where the pictures, it tells you which one to display as you read the story aloud. It also has questions that you can ask. So I would do this and then I would click on the Loom extension up here on my browser. Most of the time it just leaves you signed in, so I'm not quite sure why I have to keep signing in with it signed in. But generally technology doesn't always work when we're on the spot. Arthur, are there any questions?
Yeah, we actually got one from Juliet. She's saying, to access the interactive read alouds made on Edpuzzle, do my students need an Edpuzzle account as well?
Oh, no, that's a good question. No, they do not. So once you have created a completed Edpuzzle story, you can click on, and I can go back to that. I'm going to actually go back to ones that I've already completed. Go back to my content. And here's the folder I created. So for instance, here's one that I created for 3-4. I'm going to click on it. When you're done, you have these 4 buttons down here in the corner. You have assign, edit, duplicate, and delete. When you click assign, when you're finished, you can click on public links and then copy this link here for your student. This is the link that you would give them, and they would be able to see this. This is actually what I have posted in this digital IRA document. That's what these IRA links are. So these are shareable to students right now. They're ready to go. Great question. All right, so let's see. It looks like Loom has decided to open. There we go. So there's a video within a video. So if you were recording, you can see your microphone audio. It would be casting my screen, which is back there in the background. You can choose to do screen and cam, screen only. If you do screen only, then it just puts your stock photo or whatever you've put up there, and then you can start recording. And as soon as you click record, it's going to give you a countdown. It's going to ask you which screen you want to share. And it's going to give you a countdown. And then you can start recording. And so right now you're recording. And then when you're done, you can pause. When you're finished, you can just click the
Hey, Lori, I don't know if you can hear me, but you got chopped up pretty good there for a little bit. We had a hard time hearing.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I keep getting that internet signal, and so I stopped recording in Loom, and it takes me directly to the video where I now have my video that I just recorded. I can play it right here by clicking the triangle. I can cut. Here's where I would copy my link. You can actually download this directly to your desktop computer, and then you can upload that to Edpuzzle. If you don't have that space on your computer, you could download it, or you could just copy the link and then upload it onto YouTube. however you choose. Okay, I see somebody texted me.
That was me, Lori. I was just saying I'll take over the screencast, just showing a screen to save a little bit of drain on your device
Okay.
after this.
All right. So
Okay, any questions from what Lori was showing so far with the interactive read aloud portion? All right, well, hearing none, we'll go ahead and continue. But just to be sure, since we've had a little bit of issues with internet, I don't know if you guys have used it before, but down the bottom of your screen, you should see a reactions button for those of you who have your cameras turned off. If you can just give me a thumbs up or some type of a symbol to let me know if we're still being heard out there. All right, there we go. We got a few. Yep, I see Emily. Okay, good, good. And I think Kristen had it too, but oh, there we go. All right. All right. Well, let's continue. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And Lori will be available in the background to manage the chat if you've got any going on there. I'm getting some feedback from someone. Where is that? Maybe it's me. Okay. All right, anyway, so I'm back on here and I'm going to go ahead and move into the next portion. Lori already did a great job talking about the content with the interactive read alouds and how to get those set up. She's also got links here on this slide when we share that with you at the end. Don't let us forget to share that link. These are all links to kind of get you started, help centers, digital guides, things that will help you as you start moving into that on your own. So I'm going to talk a little bit about annotation. Oh, look at him. He's so cute. All right. Writing with his feather and ink. So when we talk about annotation, what we're really looking for is ways to see students' work. And so there's a few ways to do that, right? We have some kind of low-tech ones here with paper and pictures. And that's literally what we're doing in my house for my first grade daughter. She is completing her word work. We're doing reading responses to stories and things. Her teacher's sharing out on YouTube where she reads a book or a text. And the kids will listen to that, or if they have access to the text themselves, they can read it. And then they will write their response. I'll snap a picture of it, and then we send it to her via email. She's also started a Facebook group and through Bloom's, although Bloom's has had a lot of trouble kind of keeping up with demand lately. So we've really gone to email and Facebook. But you know, it's an easy way to kind of stay connected and see what your students are doing, both from a reading and a writing perspective. It does, particularly for departmentalized teachers, it does kind of blow up your inbox if you've got 20, 40, 60 students emailing you, or parents emailing you pictures that you're then sorting through. So it can work. If you've got kids that are on Google Classroom, it can be a little easier for them to submit that work that way and keep up with it and kind of keep it in one location. Speaking of Classroom, Google Docs is a great way to encourage that annotation. Anything that's in text, whether you're selecting, maybe you're copying items and pasting them. A lot of services have kind of opened up for free right now, like News ELA is allowing that to be completely free, so you could use their text for now, for the duration at least of this time period without any cost. You can take text from other locations and share those via Google Docs, where students can comment over on the top of it, or on other people's work, or maybe something even the teacher has written. And that, of course, that works for writing as well, where they're sharing what they've been producing. We also have Google Forms. Now, Forms, of course, requires a little bit more of a lift for teachers. You do have to kind of recreate those questions, but it does allow for you to get some of that instant grading. It allows you to get those responses in a central location. Forms has really stepped it up on its ability to embed other media. So you can actually embed pictures as well as videos from YouTube. So that could really help make your forms a lot more robust. And in fact, as I'm thinking about that right now, if my daughter's first grade teacher had a way to get that out to parents pretty easily, she could actually watch the reading right there on a Google form and then do her reading response all within a single Google form and turn that into her teacher. So maybe I'll recommend that to her a little later on. Google Slides is, I think, one of the best and most robust ways to get real annotation from students. What it does is you can take on the teacher end, maybe take a picture of a worksheet or a text or whatever it is, a book that you're using, and you can take that picture and import it into Google Slides, maybe even use it as a background, and then put text boxes on top of it, or just share it with your students and they can put their own text boxes on top, write responses. They can show highlighting through the kind of the fill feature, and they can show all of that right there kind of on top of the text, with the text kind of sitting in the background there. And then last, there are some Drive extensions that you can use to help make annotation really powerful. But there's a little bit of a catch for some of those. Kami, Kami, is one of those that's really good. And I've actually seen it during this time period being used to great success with my middle school daughter and some of the high school teachers that I've spoken with, of which my wife is one. But, and here's the catch, if you place an extension, if you're going to rely on an extension to do the work, or allow your students to do the work, they all have to install that extension as well. So if they're going to use Kami, you got to get a way to teach them or show them how to get Kami installed on there. And if they're going to use DocHub, if they're going to use any of those extensions that you're using on your end, you've got to find a way to help them get that extension on their end. So again, really powerful. And again, perhaps some of the best work could be done through those. But if it's something you're relying on them to do annotation with, then you've got to find a way for them to get to that. So be wary. There it is. I'm going to pause here because I want to have an opportunity to check in and see if there are questions, or if you'd like us to show any of how you would do any of those features with forms or slides or anything like that. So I'm just going to freeze for a sec and see what we got. Okay, not hearing any questions yet. For those of you who are, especially, I remember there were some second and third grade shout outs earlier about what you're teaching. What are you guys doing currently to reach out and try to see what your students are doing? How is that working out for you guys wherever your locations are? Oh, don't make me call on someone. Come on. All right. So iPhone 3, which is Katie, if I remember correctly, said she is using Google Classroom. And Katie, what grade level were you again? Let's see. She had it earlier. Third grade. Okay. Horner underscore Ashley, what have you been doing lately? Flipgrid, okay. Are you sending out content that way and then your students respond Flipgrid also, or are you just kind of, is it one directional more? Okay, reading a book over Flipgrid, very cool. That could be a great opportunity to get a longer chapter text or something like that. And then they're answering questions via Flipgrid. Yeah, it's pretty creative. Kimberly, what have you been doing in your neck of the woods? She's like, man, I ain't gonna answer this question.
Well, I'm a literacy coach for
Oh,
K-5, so just really been trying to, I've been using Zoom just with teachers,
okay.
but I've also wanted to look into Google Classroom because I'm going to try to reach out to some other fifth grade kids that we had identified. So I'm trying to develop my own platform to see
Very nice.
Google Classroom.
Very nice. Make you a hand clap. All right. How about my Hardy folks out here? Anyone want to jump in real quick before we move on? Oh, we better get somebody from Hardy to represent. Come on now.
Come on, Hardy.
Is that, oh, there's Kristen there, the easiest way. Okay, so we got a couple. We got kindergarten through Dojo. Yep, that's cool. And I know that's what one of our teachers was trying to do at my daughter's school.
YouTube.
Dojo definitely has the nice portfolio submit feature. Juliet says fourth grade, hasn't tried to do an IRE yet, but they're doing work through Dojo as well with pictures. And then Kristen says a lot of her students don't have computers. Gotcha, gotcha. And Kristen, hopefully you have heard about the technology pickups that they've been offering at certain schools. I'm trying to think. Lakeside might be one of the closer ones to Hardy. So you can go and pick up a device or two or three. You can send your parents if they have the ability to get to the school, and they can get borrow a Chromebook or however many they need. So central office also has a supply off there off Bonnie Oaks. All right, well, I'm going to switch back over here. With that, we didn't have any requests to actually see us walk through this. So I'm going to go on to the next one and mute my video, my mic, because I know this is Lori's coming up again.
Okay, so this is the reading and writing resources. So I see Arthur's going to drive for me in the presentation since my computer's being super slow. I'm going to try to use my HP next time, to trying to figure out which computer works best. You know, we're all trying something new here. So on this next slide, the slide right before that was a list of all of my different websites that I like to use. It's a Google Doc. You can look at that later. An exhaustive list of resources that I've kind of already shared with my teachers at Lakeside and Hillcrest through a Google Classroom that I have set for them to share resources. And the next slide, I was going to highlight a few of my favorites. So on this slide, we haven't talked about any of these. So two of my favorites on here are Common Lit and Vocabulary. So Common Lit is just like News ELA. That blue link up there at the top is a link, an interactive link. When you go to Common Lit, if you've not been there before, I know Ashley, yes, we've used it there at Lakeside. And so it is a great platform for students. It's just like News ELA. When you log in with your HCE account, it is aligned to the Tennessee standards. You can also assign them in Google Classroom to where the students can work on that, and it's a way to do some formative assessment. They have to answer questions, and you can search by genre, standard, any kind of thing. And it is always free. That's the best part. News ELA right now is free because of our current circumstances, but Common Lit is always free. And it also has an OA piece to it. So the students who need it read to them can also have it read to them. And then the other one on there that I really like is Vocabulary. And Vocabulary is a website. It's sister company with Nearpod, if you're familiar with Nearpod. But what I like about Flocabulary is that it is an online platform for hip-hop educational videos, which are very engaging for the students. It's not always free, it is now, so I would take advantage of that. It has learning games with it. It has quizzes, flashcards, a bunch of things that the students can access. You can also assign these in Google Classroom as well. So those are just two of my favorites. A bunch of the other ones on there on that screen. I'm sure people have the Brain Pop and Brain Pop Juniors, not always free, but it is now. Great content for science and social studies. You would probably use Brain Pop Junior for your younger students, and then Brain Pop for the older kids. Quizzes down in the bottom right-hand corner is a fun little game. It's a way to kind of break up the school part of it. You can assign some games that work in Google Classroom as well. So that's the slide, my favorite slide. Do y'all have any questions on any of these?
Hey, Lori, can you give me just a quick run by of how Common Lit works? You're saying like just link it to your Google Classroom. Can you just give me a quick rundown about it?
Yes, so when you click on Common Lit, it's going to ask you to set up an account. Arthur's going to drive for us. You have to click the create a free account. Unless you already have one, you can log in with Google. It's going to take your HCE credentials. Once you log in with HCE account, it kind of runs you through some different ways to create a class. Basically, the quick version is if you go up to library, Mr. Williams, in the top left-hand corner. Is it letting you click on library? Yeah, and click view all text. So then here you see down the right side, you can scroll down. You can go by Lexile. I'm sorry, on the left side where you sort and search. You can sort by standards, all the little plus marks down there at the bottom. If you scroll, you'll see one that says standards at the bottom. So like you can select which standards you want to go. Go ahead and click on RL Kid 1. Now you can select multiple standards. This one, every time that you select a standard, it's going to refresh the page. Mr. Williams, if you just want to click on the Dr. Martin Luther King article right there. Okay. So if you click out this, you're going to have to click through the tutorials since it's the first time you're accessing it. But basically what it's telling you is when you assign an article, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. You can download up there at the top of the article right above it. You see the two options of assign a text or download the PDF. When you click on assign text, it will allow you to either create classes within Common Lit, or it will allow you to upload some of your Google Classroom. So like if you already have a Google Classroom of students set up, it will allow you to import your class from here and then create assignments. So if you go back, go back to the article again, Mr. Williams. You might just have to hit your back. You can assign to your classroom. I want you to see over on the side, on the right side, you'll see there's the read aloud button. Sorry, it keeps giving you a pop-up. right above where it says activities, it says read aloud. That's where the students can do the read aloud. When you've assigned this, however, they'll see the article, they can have it read to them, and then they will have to answer the question and turn it in. And then it's going to grade it for you. And if you've created classrooms within Common Lit, it's going to start to collect data that looks very similar to iReady. This is typically for second and up, maybe the second grade. You can find some lower Lexile. It's not typically low enough for K1 though, but you can use it for your upper grades. And that's Common Lit. There's a lot of features on there. Also, when you assign a text, you can select guided reading mode, which when you enable guided reading mode, it's going to chunk the text for them, and it's going to ask questions to where they cannot go on until they've answered that guided reading question. But that's Common Lit. Did I answer your question, Ms. Jackson? It's like Arthur's trying to upload one of his.
Yes, you did. That's awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have one more question.
Yes.
So if I wanted to create a Google Classroom, but I don't have students, I just want to do it to where I can have teachers come in if I put some of these assignments in for the various grades. Can I do that?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can create a Google Classroom. Like I have one for Lakeside and Hillcrest to share resources, and then you would just invite the teachers. Like I think Mr. Williams is going to click on the one that I created. And then I think I sent this link out in an email with the code, because the code is up at the top. And so however you want to do it, there's the code. So I would send that out to teachers. You can also, if you go to click on people at the top, you can invite people. So like you could just go in and manually put all the teachers in at the top. Or you could just give them the code and let them join. Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Williams, about Classroom?
No, I don't think I would have anything to add. You definitely hooked that up. It's pretty simple to go ahead and add things into here as the teacher, and you can add it either through the stream right here with a link to Common Lit, or you can add it like as a classwork style assignment. Again, it's not, nothing being graded, but you can just make it available as a resource or some material as they call it. So.
Yeah, when you click on create, you get multiple options of different things that you could do.
Okay. Any other questions on anything in here? Did you need to see us drive through any of these? Are you familiar with quizzes versus Quizlet and how they compare to maybe Kahoot or something like that? Anybody with any questions there? I'm gonna actually pull back to the front here.
I don't see any new questions in the chat.
I don't either. Have any of you used quizzes before, or at least with students? Maybe you're exploring as a teacher? No, from Emily. We don't have a thumbs down icon to be like, no. Okay, Ashley says, yes, I've used it in class. I happen to have been in her class when she used it. iPhone 3, Katie says no, okay. Okay. Well, just to give you a quick, quizzes is one of the ones that I feel is a little less common. Yeah, so like she says, it's similar to Kahoot. Well, first of all, who knows what Kahoot is? Just so we make sure we have a baseline there. Give me a thumbs up if you know about Kahoot. Got my Coach Wood going on here. If you can hear me, clap once. Uh, you guys got to check out his YouTube channel. He's a nut. I love it. Unicorn Yoga, favorite one. All right, yeah. So Kahoot, is that game that's like review interactive style. The kids are going nuts. Press the buttons as fast as you can. I don't know if I read the question or not. I just want to get all the points. And so of course it's got some drawbacks if you want them to actually learn anything or take something from it. Quizzes kind of uses that same competitive format, but it puts the question on the kid's screen, which is, it sounds like a little thing, but that's huge, right? Because Kahoot, they've got to look up at some common screen or television or something like that. But Quizzes puts it on the student screen, and it does let them move at their own pace. So no race to press the button. Like, I can still see the scoreboard, but I'm not having to worry about happy clicking. Well, you still got to worry about that, but it's not a feature of the points. It doesn't matter how fast they click their answer. They can take their time, still keep up with the scoreboard, and then see the questions individually. Now I'm seeing. Oh, go ahead.
You can also still assign quizzes in Google Classroom as well. You can assign them for homework, so they don't have to be live. So like it's got a feature where you can copy the link and post it for the students. So like you're assigning homework, so you're making this quizzes game available for a certain amount of time. So it gives you a week, it gives you days to select a time period and stuff. And so the kids can go on at their pace and play that game. And then you'll see who played. You can also see how many questions they got wrong, how many they got right. I mean, it's got all kinds of information for you when you assign it for homework. And it also syncs up with Google Classroom. And
Ashley, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can download all the results in like an Excel spreadsheet or something?
Mm-hmm. Yes. It also has a lot of games already made. I mean, it's got a great, very extensive library. You don't have to create it on your own. You can search by grade level, content, whatever. You don't have to create that on your own. You can create that on your own. And it's also got another cool feature. When you create it on your own, it will give you a bank of questions. So like if you're trying to figure out how to ask a certain question, it does have the option to give you a bank of questions that you can select. I actually love Quizzes. I like it a lot better than Kahoot, but
yeah,
I'm just partial.
I see a question in the chat from looks like Ginger Varner. She says, does Hamilton have an account with IXL? I don't think so. At our school, we have had to do that on an individual basis. I don't know if that has changed with so many of the free options being available via the during the season of illness. But I do not believe, whether it's free or not right now, I'm almost certain Hamilton County does not have an account. Yeah, Lori's shaking her head as well. So
Hamilton County does not have an account, but it is free right now for teachers. If you log in, and like most of these educational websites, it allows you to log in with your Google account, and it recognizes right off that you work with the school district. So most of the time they're free.
So yeah, so Kimberly, you're absolutely right. It is free right now, and maybe for a good little while, but it is not normally free, and I would expect that it will not stay free. Okay, very good. All right, so we've gone through a fair number of things. We've gone through the IRA component, some of the annotation components. We've got some reading, writing resources. Also want to remind you about Hamilton County's district resources. Each of these contains a link. We've got our virtual PD one here that you probably got to this session via that. The elementary virtual support schedule. This is the content leads are in language arts and math and science, everything. They are making sessions available for you on an individual kind of requested basis. They currently are kind of broken up by learning community. So you'll want to take a look in there, and you know what, let me just click on this. You'll want to take a look in there and make sure that you see your date. This popped out through Canvas want to say last Friday, but I know a few of our teachers hadn't seen it yet. These are your directions for how to get what you need. But down here at the bottom is where the power is. And you can see from ELA in here today, it's showing on Tuesday. This is what's available for the North River Learning Community, as well as the Opportunity Zone Learning Community. And these are being led by Christy Bundy and Leanne Potter. And then you can see on here, Wednesday, Missionary Ridge. This session that you're watching now, also available tomorrow. And that's open to anybody. It's not limited to a district area or a learning community. So you can see here, there's some things here. Most of them are by request. Math looks a little different. This Sheila Martin and Michelle Lowe, I think they're just making that Zoom available, like, hey, just show up and somebody will be there. And science and social studies has the same thing. So those resources are available, lots of help out there and available for you. And then, of course, our hashtag HCS Continued Learning site on the Hamilton County page. And I do want to go back, actually, because Lori had an amazing, this document here that I didn't click on, but should have when she was explaining it. Lots of reading and writing resources. I mean, look at all this. Many of these are featured in the Canvas resources. So you can see that. We have those that were in this presentation, plus more. So feel free to take a look at that and use those resources as well. And then the last thing, of course, is just any questions. Here's our information. If you'll hang around just a second, I'll make sure to copy the link from this slide deck and put that in the chat so you can get access to it. But any questions while we're here? All right, well, hearing none, I think I've got the link. You should have seen that pop up. Oops, no, that went to one person. My apologies. All right, that should have went to everyone. That is the slide deck presentation. And as we said, this will be available as well for you to go back and review it. And please don't hesitate to reach out, email, Twitter, snail mail, whatever it takes to get some help. Emily looks like she has something to say. Hey, what library is in your background, Kimberly? Where is that? Your virtual picture background.
Okay, it is at Universal Studios for Harry Potter. It's the Weasley Brothers magic store.
Nice, nice. Okay, very cool. I was like, it looks like an amazing library, but I see. And then Ashley's got a visitor. Awesome. Sporting the math book. Very cool. All right, guys. If that's it, then thank you for swinging by and enjoy your day. Keep teaching, continue learning, better together.
All right. Bye.